Most men spend their lives confused, seeking love, validation, and happiness from women, only to end up heartbroken, used, or trapped. But 200 years ago, a philosopher named Arthur Schopenhauer exposed the raw truth about female nature. Truths so brutal that most men refuse to accept them. By the end of this, you will see exactly where you were deceived and how to finally regain control. So, pay attention, because what you are about to hear is not just controversial. It is the lost key that most men will never understand. Schopenhauer did not believe in fairy tales. He saw love for what it truly is. Not a spiritual bond, not destiny, but a biological trick, a relentless illusion, designed by nature for a single purpose: reproduction. Here is the uncomfortable truth. When you feel that electric attraction, that obsessive desire, that conviction that she is the one, your brain is not connecting with her soul. It is calculating, subconsciously assessing fertility, genetic compatibility, survival advantages, and the attraction of women. It works the same way, just with different priorities. Schopenhauer wrote, "Love is the ultimate goal of almost all human endeavor. It is more important than anything else in life." But he didn't mean it romantically. He meant it as a trap, a fleeting chemical high that disappears the moment it serves its purpose. Think about it. How many men have destroyed themselves for a woman? A woman who then left without a second thought. How many marriages fall apart as soon as the passion evaporates? This is not a coincidence. It is nature's design. Women do not choose men based on fairness, loyalty, or even logic. They follow an ancient selection program, programmed to seek status, security, and genetic superiority. A man's devotion means nothing if he cannot provide these. Schopenhauer saw this clearly. Women are rarely guided by reason. They are governed by instinct and emotion. This is not misogyny, it is observation. Observe dating apps, where 80% of women compete for the top 20% of men. Observe divorce courts, where commitment is rewarded with financial ruin. Observe history, where kings died for lovers who betrayed them. The pattern does not change because biology does not change. Most men believe that love is mutual, that if they sacrifice enough, care enough, prove their worth, they will be rewarded. But Schopenhauer warned, to be loved, one must not only be fair but intelligent. Women do not fall in love with kindness, they fall in love with strength, not just physical, but social, financial, psychological. That's why the nice guy finishes last, not because he is unworthy, but because he doesn't understand the game. He thinks love is earned through service. Women, by instinct, are attracted to men who don't need to serve. Have you ever noticed how women lose interest after they have conquered a man? How the pursuit reverses. Schopenhauer called this, the tragedy of possession. The emotion is not in having, it is in conquering. Once the conquest ends, biology moves on. That's why men who cling too tightly, who make her the center of their world, inevitably see her leave. But here's the twist. This is not women's fault, it's nature's. And the man who understands this stops blaming, he starts strategizing. Schopenhauer's lesson is not to shun women, it is to see them clearly, to recognize that love is not a fantasy, it is a negotiation. And the man who negotiates from weakness loses every time. But this is just the beginning, because the next truth is even darker. It explains why modern men are being outcompeted in every area and how to change the game, because what comes next is where most men realize they have been fooled all along. Schopenhauer saw what most men today still refuse to admit. The rules of attraction are not fair, they are not logical, and they are certainly not in your favor. While modern society preaches equality, biology operates under a different set of laws. And the man who ignores this has already lost. Here is the brutal reality. Women hold the ultimate leverage in life. And the man who ignores this has already lost. From the moment puberty hits, a woman's value in the sexual marketplace peaks, while a man's must be built through struggle, status, and survival. Schopenhauer clearly stated, women are suited to be the nurses and teachers of our childhood by the very fact that they themselves are childish, frivolous, and short-sighted. He was not insulting them, he was highlighting an evolutionary truth. A woman's youth and beauty are her currency, and she instinctively knows how to spend it. Look around. The average man today is drowning in a paradox. He is encouraged to be emotionally vulnerable while women still pursue dominance. He is shamed for wanting traditional masculinity while strong alphas still dominate dating apps. He works himself to exhaustion, providing in a system that rewards him with divorce courts and paternity tests. Schopenhauer warned about this centuries ago. Women are directly suited to act as nurses and teachers of childhood by the very fact that they themselves are childish, frivolous, and short-sighted. In a word, they are big children all their lives. But here is where it gets dangerous. Modern women have not only embraced their power, they have weaponized it. Social media has turned attention into an economy, and the average man is the unpaid laborer. He simps, he orbits, he competes for crumbs of validation from women who will never commit to him, because he has been sold a lie, that devotion alone is enough. Schopenhauer saw the trap long before dating apps. Women are ciphers. Women are systematically trained to be incapable of genuine love. This sounds harsh until you realize what he meant. Female love is conditional, it is tied to utility. A man is not valued for who he is, but for what he provides. The moment he stops providing, the love disappears. This is not cynicism, it is survival. Women are programmed to seek the best possible partner. If a man stagnates, she will resent him. If he falls behind, she will replace him, and modern society encourages it. Schopenhauer divided men into two categories, those who serve and those who are served. The beta male exhausts himself trying to prove his worth. The alpha commands worth effortlessly. One begs for loyalty, the other inspires obsession. You see this everywhere. The office worker who sacrifices his health for a promotion, hoping it will make his wife respect him again. The gym goer who transforms his body only to realize that women now want him, but only for sex, not commitment. The simp who spends his paycheck on a girl who will ignore him the second a higher status man appears. These men are not victims, they are volunteers. But Schopenhauer didn't just diagnose the problem, he revealed the solution. The first rule of survival is to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. The man who thrives today is not the one who clings to outdated romanticism, it is the one who masters the game. And the final truth, the game is rigged, but only if you are playing by the wrong rules. This is where most men give up, because the next truth is the hardest to swallow. It's not about women, it's about you. And the moment you face it, everything changes. Schopenhauer discovered a disturbing truth that modern psychology now confirms. Women do not compete like men. They do not challenge you directly, they do not display their power where you can see it. Their greatest weapon is invisible, instinctive, and devastatingly effective: emotional influence. While men fight with fists or logic, women wage war through perception. They do not conquer, they manipulate reality itself. Consider this: when a man wants something, he demands it. When a woman wants something, she makes you believe it was your idea. Schopenhauer saw this clearly. Women are adapted to a sedentary life by their lack of physical strength and to the care of children by their natural inclination. Therefore, they live more in the present than men. But this focus on the present gives them a dangerous advantage. They read micro-expressions, tone changes, and social dynamics with almost supernatural accuracy. A man thinks he is having a conversation, a woman is conducting an interrogation. Modern men believe they are in control of their relationships. They are wrong. From the first date to the divorce papers, women guide the interaction through subtle tests. Most men fail without realizing it. The compliance test, how quickly you rearrange your schedule for her; the frame test, whether you hold your ground or yield to her emotions; the investment test, whether you pursue more than she does. Schopenhauer warned, women are instinctively cunning and have an innate talent for deception. This is not malice, it is evolutionary programming. In a world where physical strength did not guarantee survival, emotional intelligence became the ultimate currency. The woman who could not navigate male psychology did not pass on her genes. Here is where modern men walk blindly into the trap. They mistake a woman's attention for genuine interest. But Schopenhauer revealed the harsh reality: women are most attracted to men who do not need them. The moment you make a woman your purpose is the moment she loses respect for you. This explains why nice guys finish last, why marriages fall apart after men sacrifice their ambitions, why women chase emotionally unavailable men. It's not that women want to be mistreated, they are biologically programmed to seek higher value men. Neediness destroys perceived value faster than anything else. Every interaction with a woman contains an unspoken power struggle. Most men lose before they realize the battle has begun. She cries to avoid responsibility, she withholds affection to train compliance, she flirts with others to test your confidence. Schopenhauer called this the tyranny of the weak. Women leverage their perceived vulnerability to control stronger opponents. A man who falls for this becomes a slave, a man who recognizes this becomes unstoppable. But there is hope. Schopenhauer's most liberating truth is this: the first step to freedom is seeing the chains. Once you understand that female nature is not personal, it is biological, you stop taking it personally, you stop begging for loyalty, and you start inspiring it. The final lesson: the most dangerous lies are not the ones women tell men, they are the ones men tell themselves. Schopenhauer's most devastating revelation was not about women, it was about the cold, unyielding reality of human nature itself. After exposing the brutal truths of attraction and power dynamics, he offered something far more valuable: the path to liberation. It's not about defeating women, it's about transcending the game completely. Modern men make a fatal mistake: they believe happiness comes from female validation. Schopenhauer saw through this illusion. The happiness we receive from ourselves is greater than that which we obtain from our surroundings. The men who thrive are not those who conquer women, but those who conquer themselves. They develop a purpose so consuming, so intrinsically rewarding, that female attention becomes a pleasant bonus, rather than a life or death necessity. The most remarkable men in history, the architects, the inventors, the warriors, were not distracted by the pursuit, they were too busy building empires. Here are the 3 pillars of unwavering masculinity. Economic sovereignty. Schopenhauer warned that money is human happiness in abstracto, not for what it buys, but for the freedom it guarantees. The man who controls his finances controls his destiny. Philosophical depth. Most men live on autopilot. The exceptional man cultivates a sharp mind, sharp enough to cut through societal lies. He reads, debates, and thinks for himself. Physical mastery. The body is not just a tool for attraction, it is the vessel of your will. Weakness here breeds weakness everywhere. Here is where Schopenhauer's wisdom becomes revolutionary. The surest way not to be very miserable is not to expect to be very happy. It is emotional armor. The modern man who stops begging for love, approval, or fairness suddenly finds these things coming to him, because he has removed himself from the desperate masses, he has become the prize. The battle between men and women is not personal, it is a biological theater unfolding across millennia. The man who awakens to this stops blaming and starts evolving. He does not resent female nature, he adapts to it. He builds a life so attractive that women must either meet his standards or watch from the sidelines. Schopenhauer's final lesson: we forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people. The choice is yours: continue chasing illusions or step into your true power. The red pill is not about hating women, it is about loving the truth enough to rebuild yourself in its image. This is where your real life begins.